Wasn't that the coolest thing? Bravo. That was done by Wendy. Thank you so much, Wendy. That was gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, yes. So tonight here we have Wendy and Denise and Suri and myself. And we're welcoming in everyone who's brave enough to come to a Scorpio new moon. Everybody's showing up. So it's very interesting what's going on. There's so much energy out there. We had Mercury and Uranus in an opposition. Mercury was in a Cazimi. Basically, that's just saying there is going to be a lot of truth coming out, and it's going to be all of the things that are coming out about 3i Atlas and about, the Epstein files and world events and just all across everything, plus in our own personal lives, the stories are going to be coming out. And I was laughing because Mercury had been in Sagittarius and just moved into Scorpio, and Scorpios where all the really nasty stuff is going to be coming out, because that's the kind of stuff, the deep, dark, it's not the stuff that you sweep under the rug. It's the stuff that's underneath the rug that belongs in the cellar. That's underneath the rug. That is the kind of secrets that Scorpio will bring out. So that's the energy I want you to realize that's out there. And people don't like that when their secrets are told. So I think that's one of the things that we have to be aware of in this crazy energy that is going to stay with us for a little bit. So I do want to have everybody realize that we do need something to write with. We are setting intentions. I have my trusty pen. I actually wrote down some intentions. This is the card that I'm using. Because to me, I wanted all that power of the Scorpio sun. Let me see if I can do this in a different way, like that. And I'll move myself over. Magic. Okay. So you can see a bigger picture. This is one of the pictures that Suri had taken. And I liked the power of the water, it symbolizing Scorpio, but I really like the darkness that's behind it, because it's like the storm isn't over yet. And I want people to be aware of that we're going to be having that kind of energy. So we do need if you have a candle and a lighter, that is perfect. But if you don't have anything to hand, just something to write with, like a nice piece of note paper, something that you want to keep, maybe stick in an envelope. I always keep my new moon intentions underneath a nice piece of amethyst. And then later on, when they become full moons, and this will become full moons, it's in 6 months, then this is going to happen. So you can check and see how you did with all of your intentions. So we thank you for everybody that's joining us currently. So I'm going to turn this over to Suri so she can do a clearing for us. So go ahead. I will add this to the stage, Suri.
All right.
And let you get started.
All right. Welcome in, everyone. And so we're going to do a short clearing that really is meant to align you with the deep transformational energy of this new moon in Scorpio, which is a portal of renewal, truth, and emotional alchemy. So everyone, if you take a moment to find a quiet place where you sit or lie down, and just begin to relax. We're going to take a slow, deep breath in and release. Feel your body soften. Notice where you're carrying tension and allow that to relax. Imagine a deep cord extending from the base of your spine to the center of the earth. Let it anchor you, support you, and steady your energy. With each breath, allow your nervous system to relax. We'd like to call in your highest guides, your angels and protectors. Ask them to invite in only energies of love, of truth, clarity, and transformation to step forward. You are safe. You are held. Now visualize a sphere of midnight blue light forming around you, the color of Scorpio's depth, intuition, and rebirth. This light gently begins drawing out old emotional residue, hidden fears or doubts, energetic cords that drain you, outdated identities ready to be shed. See them dissolve into the blue light, neutralized and returned to source. Now imagine a second layer of luminous silver light, Scorpio's alchemical energy, washing over you from crown to feet. This silver light infuses emotional courage, truth, intuitive power, cellular renewal, and soul-level clarity. Feel the old fall away. Feel the new rise within you. I'd ask you to place now your hand over your heart and whisper quietly, I am ready to release what no longer serves me. I am ready to embody my truth. I am ready to rise in my power. Allow a new intention to surface, something simple and true and aligned with your soul. Hold this softly, without force. Now see your aura glowing in indigo and silver light, clear, bright, and renewed. Thank your guides. Thank yourself. Let's take one final deep breath in that symbolizes gratitude. And exhale. You are cleared. You are aligned. And you are ready for this new moon cycle.
You're muted, Dawn.
Of course I am. Of course I am. I did want to put this up for people who know where Scorpio is in their charts. And if you make it a little bigger or if you're like me and you have questionable need for reading glasses, take a screenshot of it and then enlarge it so that you can maybe keep this at home for yourself, because it really does help when you're looking at what is getting the big energies in your chart. So we have Scorpio New Moon. And one of the things that I think, as far as setting intentions and how long this energy is going to be good for, I would say it's actually going to be a good solid 6 months. And one of the reasons is that there's this beautiful connection between Jupiter and Venus going on. And I think that's what really I want to focus on more this evening, because Venus is at 16 degrees of Scorpio and is in a trine to the North Node. So at 16 degrees of Scorpio, she is just 10 degrees away from the 25, she's more than there's the 28 degree new moon, but Jupiter's actually at 25 degrees. And she is going to be coming up to this energy where following the sun. And she right now is entering the dark night of the soul for Venus, because she is in the process of turning into an evening star. So anytime the planets get within 15 degrees of the sun, they're considered under the beams of the sun, and that we cannot see them. And now this is happening, and this will be the case when she moves through Scorpio and opposes Uranus. So she has an opposition coming up with Uranus. So I think that is going to be more things coming out about women, more things that women are going to be protesting against. And also there are things that we have to look at in Scorpio that are deepest, darkest wounds, our deepest, darkest secrets that are going to be activated and remain activated really for the next month, because that is Venus in the Persephone in Hades energy. And the really interesting thing is, in the new moon on the 19th of December in Sagittarius, again at 28 degrees, which is on the galactic center with Hekate at 27 degrees, right on the galactic center. Hekate is really waiting for Venus to emerge. Hekate is who helped find Venus in the dark night of the soul. So it's about Hekate being, the way shower, holding the torch, lighting the way, and being at a crossroads in your life. I think there's a lot of that energy going on that we need to really look at. And I wouldn't be into what I feel about your intention setting is ask for help clearing that, because I think that's when the gifts will start to open up even more once we understand what is going on with all of us. So I really feel that with all of this energy, and it's just tremendous astrology, Uranus is very involved. Mercury is involved about, getting out the secrets. Venus is all right there. Venus and Mercury will conjunct in Scorpio. So a lot of things are going to be coming out, including 3i Atlas information and information about other areas of the world that are not getting any reports now, that we'll probably get more and more information out. And I know that we have to be extremely careful, because more and more all the time, I see AI generated stories constantly on YouTube. I have never seen as many as this that are so clickbait. Do not believe 3i Atlas is going to be running into Earth. No, none of that is true. I don't think there's anything to be scared of with that whatsoever. Nothing. So I'm not saying it's not interesting and really cool and that we aren't getting something from it, but I think to say that it's the creation of the solar flares that we're getting the energy from, the downloads. Mercury opposite Uranus are downloads, and Mercury will have that opposition with Uranus again after we've kind of gone through this dark night of the soul in Scorpio. So there's a lot of inner work that we're going to be doing, but it's all to our benefit. And one of the things about Scorpio is it's also about poisons. It's about the things that we don't want to talk about. And for me, one of the things that has really come out for me is the poison is what is alchemized that creates the medicine. That's what the Chiron wound is. When you have a Chiron wound, you have to work through that, clean it out thoroughly. It's very painful, but you have to look at it. You have to acknowledge what your triggers are. That doesn't mean you have to solve it. You just have to recognize it and say, okay, is this a problem that I need to work on? Or is it something that I recognize as a lesson from my past? And I've learned the lesson. I can move on now. And I think you should acknowledge all of those feelings, especially now, because that's what Scorpio is, that deep, deep inner feelings that you're having that maybe no one else knows, right? The feelings of abandonment, of not good enough. And that's a lot of inner work. Most of this is going to be inner work for you. And it's a lot of the intentions that we can set are about us taking back our own power. Pluto is very much about power, and Pluto is one of the co-rulers of Scorpio. And you think about the power that other people have had over other people, all of those things, and recognizing that you have your own power and that you can take it back. It took me a while to recognize how much power I truly had. And then now it's like, okay, I know enough now to recognize when something isn't, how do I say it? It's not my monkey, not my circus energy. I don't need to get involved in that, because a lot of the stuff that's breaking down out in the collective is supposed to break down. And it needs limited attention. And like I said, 15 minutes of news a day is more than enough, and make most of that weather. So that's what I wanted to really talk about with the astrology for that, is that this is, for me, the 6th house is where my Scorpio is located at. So it's the daily habits. What do I want to do on a daily basis that empowers me? And what is on a daily basis that I'm not recognizing that is something that is to my detriment? And what can I release then? So there's a lot of ways that we can utilize this energy of this new moon. It's going to stick with us for a while. Jupiter and Venus, as I was beginning to say, are going to meet again in a conjunction. Jupiter is an exaltation in Cancer, which is part of this trine, this beautiful energy trine, and is now stationed retrograde. June 9th of this year is when it entered Cancer, and on June 9th of next year, Venus and Jupiter meet at 25 degrees, which is where Jupiter stationed retrograde. So that extra point of power where something stations, that will be Venus next year on June 9th with Jupiter. The two benefics are conjunct. It sets a whole new synodic cycle in Cancer, which is great for both of them to have that energy. So this is energy that we can take with us and really work with, and know that what we set in motion here and go through our dark night of the soul and go through all this work is going to be brought to fruition coming this summer. And there's a lot of energy to get through before then, but there's so much positive energy once we get into summer of next year. We do have the February energy. We do have the April energy when Uranus enters back into Gemini after meeting Venus at 29 degrees. Venus is super active this year. Venus is taking back her power all through this year. I love her being in Scorpio here. I love this is where she's going into the dark night of the soul, is in Scorpio. She's entering. This doesn't normally happen. This is not necessarily the place where she normally enters in and does this. So this is very fascinating that this is where it's happening. And Hekate is already in Sagittarius waiting for her when she moves through. So really realize this is a time where you can take on your energy of high priestess and goddess power and really work on the things that are hard for you right now. But let's go ahead and move on, though, because I do want to go on with other messages. And let me turn this over to Denise so she can give us some information about what her cards say. I'll take this off.
Thank you, Dawn. I am pulling a card from the Gaia deck, and the card that came out was evolution. Earth changes, climate changes, transformation. And look at that. Look at that light, right? That illumination. And it says, our world is cradled in a cosmic ocean of love, surrounded by an infinite universe, governed by a higher force greater than our human mind can know or comprehend. We are forever changing image, a forever changing image, forever transforming on our own journey through eternity. Yes, the climate is changing, and yes, the earth is transforming, but this has always been so, and this will always continue. Are we governed by a will greater than our own, or are we the architects of our own future? This we do not know for sure, but one thing is certain: whether we like it or not, our precious planet will continue to transform. From the stars we were born, and to a star we shall transform. Be mindful of Mother Earth, be considerate and kind to her, but do not fear her changing nature. For just like us, she is transforming to ever greater light. And this is a number 45 card, which is a 9, right? So this is ending of a cycle. And that's what we're doing right now. We were just talking before we came on about how there's so much going on, and it's like the last, I'm going to say 30 or 40 years is like culminating now, right? And I say 30 to 40 because I'm 61. So I remember when I was, 20 and 30 and what was happening back then. And it was very carefree, far more carefree than it is now, even outside of my own inner sanctuary, right? So like Dawn said, it's your inner, that's what makes this so strong, is because it's inside of us, and we can't get away from what's inside of us. If somebody's bothering you, you can walk away from them. You can shut the door, you can go away, whatever, but you can't shut the door on yourself. It's still in you. So I think that's why it's making it so big and so loud, right? So now I'm going to turn it over to Wendy.
Thanks. Very well stated, Denise. And I I kind of laughed when you started telling us about the card because you mentioned the universe, and that's the card I got. Is the universe. So I pulled a card from the Cosmic Journey Oracle, and just, you know, what message wanted to come through with this energy and just everything that we're dealing with. And I was really hoping to get something positive and encouraging, and out popped the universe. So this is about all oneness, source, divine destiny, evolutionary love, laughter. The universe is designed to evolve all life through love, light, and a lot of laughter. The universe is the source of all, the fullness of everything, out of the seeming null of nothing. The universe is all-knowing, but with an elevated view. Trust there is perfect order within anything and everything you are experiencing from this limited aspect. The universe has a hilarious sense of humor to make sure you don't take life too seriously, because it's only life after all. I really like this, just being reminded, you know, hey, it's all happening for a reason. Yeah, try not to take it too seriously, because it would be very, very easy to take all of this way too seriously, because there's a lot of really heavy stuff happening. But, you know, this is part of why we're here. This is part of our journey. This is, you know, kind of what we signed up for, whether we realize it or not. And I love that it says, like, it's just life, because even after life, that's still just another part of our life. It's just another part of our journey. So I thought that was actually quite beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Suri.
Okay, so I pulled from the Voice of the Souls Oracle deck. And interesting, I got a card called Learning. And Dawn, this actually kind of goes to what you talked about, looking at the darker side of ourselves that we have to look at. And it says, you're learning many things at the moment that might not feel positive. You're in an energy of intense learning, which will have a positive evolution and outcome. So I know that it's hard to face our shadow sides and to go in and look at the things that we're afraid to look at. But this card is basically saying, if you can summon the courage just to observe and to bring out the darkness within and to explore it, it's going to clear the way for a lot of intense opportunities coming. And I'll give you an example. I was just on an Akashic Records reading with a woman who had lived a lifetime in Egypt, and she was a clairvoyant. And in this lifetime, she also has a grandmother who was clairvoyant, and actually came through the reading to speak with her, to tell her not to be afraid of this gift, and that she had to look at it because it scares her, and it brings up a lot of fears for her, and that we all must know that we are a combination of light and dark within the same soul, and that to be able to stand in the light, you have to experience the contrast of the darkness. So this card encourages you to be okay with being in the darkness and to looking at the parts of us that we fear the most, because if you can do that and work through that, there is such positive outcome that can come to stand in the light even stronger than we've ever been before. And that's what this card signifies. It's very poignant energy. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Dawn.
And I unmuted myself. Yay. Okay. It's the small victories, people. It's the small victories. So let's go ahead and get started. I do want to talk about, I have written some of my things out already. But I want to give you a few more ideas once we get to this a little bit. But Scorpio is the deepest and darkest of all the signs. It's the most secretive. It's the one that's related to power. It's the one that's related to fear. So it's very interesting energy that we're going to be facing. And yes, we're almost at the end of Scorpio, but this Scorpio energy is going to be sticking with us for the next month because of everything that's still remaining in Scorpio and is still there. Mercury is going back. Uranus is still in an opposition to anything moving through Scorpio. So a lot of unexpected energies that are going to be coming in, epiphanies. There's a big chance for epiphanies, not only today, but also when Mercury has gone back and helped you learn all the lessons and brought out not only your secrets, but other people's secrets for you to deal with. And then it'll come back and be opposite Uranus again. And I think that is a really great moment of learning. That is a great opportunity for us. So that's one of the things that you can, allow this time to provide me the lessons that I need in order to move on, is part of what this energy is going to be. So I will go ahead and do my part of having everyone here in the collective be part of this energy. And it's very much an energy of, even if you're watching the recording, you are with us in a different, I've been on all kinds of different timelines, so I'm sure I'm with you right now. I swear I have been jumping around right and left. And it's very quantum, this energy that we have. So this is this no time space that we're in. And I do feel that this energy that we're going to be utilizing, you can utilize through the rest of the month, because there's going to be so much that you can learn as we're moving forward. So I'm going to start by calling in the archangels, and that would be Archangel Michael for protection, and Archangel Sandalphon. He's one of my personal angels. I love him because he's a part of dance and music and creativity. And Raphael for the healing energy. We also have Uriel. And I like Uriel's energy, especially when we're dealing with any of the Uranus themed things that are going on in our lives. And also feel free to ask for any of your personal angels and guides to come in to support you in what you're setting your intentions for. So this is the candle that we're lighting. And I like to symbolize that as our fire. And with I have my little Tibetan bowl. And I'm going to symbolize this as air, because it's the vibration of which everything is vibration anyway. So we will symbolize this. And today, because I always like to include a little bit of earth, so I have my nice little protection stone shaped like the moon here that I sometimes hold it when I'm talking or doing things. And I did get myself a glass of water. Use pretty glasses when you can, why not use your good silverware and good stuff, and you're worth it. As we recognize that Scorpio is a water sign, and that we are going to be utilizing the energy of, I really believe the Grand Water Trine is allowing us to be able to move our emotions, so that we will probably have a lot of emotions come up for us. But it's like that cycle of it helping clean out and bring in the fresh water as we're releasing all the toxins, which is very much about what Scorpio is about. So I would say really feel into what you really need to look at for yourself. This is a time to go into that energy and not be afraid of it. And people know one of the favorite books that I have regarding the new moon astrology is Jan Spiller's New Moon Astrology. She wrote I think 4 different books. This is a book that I use all the time. It also talks a lot about the nodes. So even if you have your, if you know where your node is located at, it provides information regarding that. But Scorpio, I was laughing when I was looking at some of the headings. Scorpio is about power. Scorpio is about transcendence. It's about death and rebirth. It's the death card in the tarot. Empowerment, change, crisis skills, self-mastery, sex, soulmates, financial partnerships, and avoiding power struggles. So pretty big things that are going on. It's also about politics and psychology. It's the deep, dark secrets that everybody has. And I think us stopping and seeing what triggers that we have going forward. Oh, I blew my little thing out here. I shouldn't have had that huff of air. There we go. It's lit. Scorpio can also be about charisma. Venus in Scorpio is very much that she is sexy. She is happening. She is, when she walked in, I told you it was like, yeah, Venus came into Scorpio to break dishes. And she's going to continue to do that. That's still going to be happening. And she hasn't even had the opposition with Uranus yet. And she's already been like throwing her weight around. Yeah, it's not going to be this way. I'm changing. I'm here to change things. And she's going into her dark night of the soul. So she is cleaning out the closet and getting rid of somebody else's stuff. Not mine to deal with. Out it goes. So eliminating baggage. And I have to, I'll tell you what some of mine are, but it's like this also talks about taking risks to gain power, which I'm not remotely interested in. Intense interactions, living on the edge. I think we're all living on the edge. We're all having all these timelines converging that we're responsible for. All of the timelines that in our past lives have started, it's like, it's been so hard because it's like, do I have to learn the lessons from all of those lives now? Apparently, it's something that's coming out for all of us right now. Scorpio is also good versus evil, strength, self-discipline, commitment, and depth of character. There's a saying that Scorpios are loyal, but if you ever betray one, they will hunt you down for the rest of your life and poison all of your plants, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They just don't, and they don't forget. Water has a really good memory. Water has an excellent memory. So there's that energy of the Scorpio and the sting, beware the sting. So it's like, yeah, you do not want to make a Scorpio mad. You do not. They're very, very loyal, but I tell you, it's also about the deep emotional communications. It is about soulmates. It is, I think a lot of what we're doing now is we're releasing some of these energies of the people that we're no longer a vibrational match to. And sometimes that hurts. And sometimes it just happens naturally. And what is happening then is we are creating space for something new to come in. And there's so much new that is going to need to be coming in. We have a lot that we have to go through and clear out. So that is definitely some of the energy of what is going on with that. It also relates to the things that we don't talk about, like loans and money and taxes. And you can even set intentions to, oh, I want to make sure I file my taxes on time or something like that. So it's the different things that you can utilize. I'm laughing because it says also revenge, jealousy, harsh judgments, destructive urges. Scorpio, check, 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 check. Power struggles, abandonment, suspicion, guilt. Oh my goodness. Guilt. Having guilt trips used on us and us being using guilt trips on other people. In Minnesota, we call that passive aggressive. And it's like a college course that people take here. Passive aggressive starts early. You can even take it in high school. So from your mom. So this is the energy of what is all going on with this deep, deep Scorpio energy. And of the body, the parts that the Scorpio rules in the body are the sexual organs, male and female, PMS and menstruation, rectum, colon, bladder, and organs of elimination. It is about poisons and toxins and becoming free of those things for ourselves. Very much that energy. So as I was deciding what I wanted to actually write, and I was looking at some of the different things, and I will give you some of the things that I thought was extremely funny. Scorpio also rules the misuse of power. And one of the things that could be a sample intention is I want all tendencies to get involved in power struggles easily lifted from me. So all that news and stuff that's going out there, that there are power struggles going on, the download I got was like, not my monkey, not my circus. You have more things to attend to than the things that are supposed to be happening out in the collective, because astrologically, there needs to be a breakdown before something else new completely comes in. We'll see the beginnings of new things, but that'll probably be more in the first part of the year. And I want to easily find myself using my power constructively in all situations. What can I bring to situations that I am personally involved in? Again, if it's not your monkey, not your circus, it's a good time not to say anything. But what can you do if it is you? And I had a trigger today. So what did I do? I was like, I cannot talk to you right now. Bye. So I just put an end to that conversation, because it's like, nope, not today, not today. And I stopped it. And rather than allowing myself to like get worked up over it, I was like, you know what? I just was like, that is so disrespectful and hurtful, and I can't talk to you right now. So ended the conversation. And that's happening a lot with people. They're very angry. A lot of them don't know why. At least with me, I kind of know, I burned my hand today. Everybody has those things. I'm not immune to anything, but I kind of know like what the astrology is reading. And it is easier for me when I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and the things that I should be working on. That's what makes it easier for me. So I am going to be sharing some of the things that I wrote down. So hopefully you won't be too shocked or surprised. I want to easily find myself gaining power by accepting responsibility for my circumstances. I am responsible for what goes on in my life and the people that I allow to be in my life. So I take that responsibility on myself. That is my power. Your decision is your power. And we are getting to the point where I want to have people that I vibrationally match with around me. I want to easily manifest self-mastery over daily habits. That's my 6th house stuff. I want to learn to eat better. I have been so tired. I have been taking naps, not normally like me. I've been sleeping extra long. My dog drags me out in the morning to go for walks because he wants to get out there. So it's also right now a good idea to ground yourself, because we're dealing with so much high level emotional energy that we need the grounding. We need quiet time, very Scorpio. We need to allow ourselves space and to create space for the new things that are going to be coming in. Time to get rid of old things, old menus, old furniture, old clothes, and people who are not in our lives for our greatest and highest good. So I want the fear of the unknown easily lifted from me. Now, that is probably one of the truest things that you can say about wanting to manifest something, because everything that you want is on the other side of fear. You have to get out of your comfort zone, and that is facing a fear that you probably have never faced before. And it's probably what's been holding you in the space that you're in. So if you are coming up on something, you're like, oh, that's kind of scary. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Honestly, that would probably be the first thing you should probably be doing, pushing past that fear. And you'll find that when you do that, it's not like you won't get nervous the next time you do the same thing again. I know lots of people who get on the stage that always get nervous before they do it, before they go out on stage. Every single time there's that nerves, but they push past it. So there's a lot of unknown that's going to be happening for all of us out there. And I hopefully have come to recognize that that is not to be feared. Just because I don't know what's going to be happening exactly doesn't mean that I should be afraid. Oh no, there's the nukes are going to go off. No, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. I think that there's going to be some upheaval. I think that there's going to be great changes. I think that there's going to be a lot of discussion, a lot of disagreement. I think it's all for our greatest and highest good. But I actually think it's very exciting. I mean, we're going to learn to empower ourselves, but I think that is a very important thing. I want to also find myself experiencing mutual empowerment with others in a way that is healthy and happy for me. And I especially like this because I feel like that's what our group does, that we are encouraging empowerment of other people, that it's stretching our wings a little bit, being able to feel like we're not in a box, that we can, ask for guidance and help and try new things. I don't know a lot about channeling. I love the idea of channeling though. I'm like, sign me up to talk to the aliens right here. I have my moon in Aquarius. So I'm all for it. So I do want that energy of us finding the people that balance us in our lives. We do have to be a complete and whole person in and of our own right. And that's what we should all work on, even before we find our soulmates. Because if you're not happy with who you are, if you don't love yourself as you are, it's harder for someone else to love you if you don't love yourself. So you really, really have to look deep as to what it is that you don't lack anything. People feel like they lack things. And I think they carry that as a deep secret of not being good enough. And it's just like, I don't think it's that you're not good enough. It's just that you don't have the knowledge that, somebody else might have, and you'll get there. I mean, I think it's lack of knowledge shouldn't be considered ignorance. It's just lack of knowledge, and being open to asking and talking to people and finding out, okay, let me be guided to where I can get the information that I am meant to have. What teacher can I find that is for my greatest and highest good for gifts? So really, we want to really empower other people. And that's where we'll find our tribe. And we'll have more than one tribe. We can have this tribe, we can have another tribe in a different way, maybe in person, or, people that I have, like a couple different astrology tribes that I talk to all the time. And I love it. It's a blast. I nerd out all the time. And I really enjoy it. So I want to easily use my power constructively in all situations. Again, not my monkey, not my circus. I don't want to get involved in any of that energy. I want fear of abandonment totally lifted from me. That's a hard one, because the fear of abandonment also to me is / the fear of betrayal. And I think you need to trust yourself and recognize that you may, at first, if you see someone that, that you think may be a good vibrational fit, but then something tells you that this is, there's red flags or something is off, trust that energy, because you shouldn't fear, but if I don't date this person, or if I don't stay with this person, I'm going to be left alone. And a lot of people fear that. I think that you're just letting that person have free rent in your space, and that someone else much, much, much better should be there. So I would say be free of that fear of abandonment, because you respect yourself enough to only want the very best for yourself. So know that is coming, by the way. As we all are getting higher vibrations, there is going to be more and more people that are actually going to be finding their tribe. And then with finding their tribe, will be finding their soulmates who they have a job to do with. There's a lot of that is going to be happening. Stay tuned. So recognize poison. Scorpio has a lot to deal with poisons. And for me, That is what I alchemize into medicine. I love the word alchemy. I've always been attracted to it. And with anything that becomes a medicine, you have to get the poison first. You have to look at the poison. You have to figure out what it is before you can make the medicine that cures it. And that goes with anything. So I think that is the first part of what Scorpio can allow us to do as we're going through this Venus dark night of the soul, is recognizing what is a poison for us, and then how can we alchemize it to be our medicine. That is very much the Chiron energy, and I want you to think of it that way, is that I am taking what was a deep, deep wound. Sometimes it's mother wounds, sometimes it's something else, sometimes it's, childhood things that happen with us, or bad relationships where we didn't have confidence to move on. When we clean out the Chiron wound, then that wound allows us to help others and be then the mentor. Chiron is just not the wounded healer. He is also the mentor. He is also someone that was out there teaching people. He was a renowned healer, as was his wife, Chericlo. So I think that we are getting to recognize those things in our life that are the poison, that we can change then, especially right now, into things that can heal us. So I don't know if anybody else had anything that they wanted to add or to share. You can feel free if you want to share your messages in the comments if you feel brave enough. I always I might have a few that I add more privately, but I wrote those all down, as you can see, because I do feel that it's about empowerment of self, really, but in order to do that, you really have to take a deep look at all of the things that scare you and that that you've had fears about in the past, the relationships that you have with other people. And Scorpio is also like Pluto is. Pluto creates space in your life. When you have Pluto moments, they're worse than Tower moments. Pluto creates space in your life in a really, really messy way. To not allow you to have that happen ever again. That's how Pluto handles it. But he will make a huge, huge mess, makes you go through a lot of work to clear all that up. And with Pluto, you get a gift, but you have to give something up that you really think that you wanted, that you think that you wanted, that you think that you needed. But in truth, it's taking away what you thought was your superpower and then giving you what is truly your power. So I do want to bring in Hekate with this energy. She is the goddess of the new moon. She is going to be showing up for Venus in Sagittarius. She is already in Sagittarius. She was doing a lot for everybody when she was in Scorpio. She was doing a lot of squaring of the nodes in Pisces. So for me, I always have always loved keys. And I think that's one of the Hekate things that I have about myself is, for me, keys are keys and doors. I go all over the place and take pictures of doors. In wherever I travel, I find an old rickety wood door or a very ornate door. I always am taking photographs of those. And I think that's because Hekate is conjunct my ascendant. So I'm very much connected to that energy. So I'm going to include my Hekate key. And I want you to take the paper that you've written on, and we're going to take a little journey. And I do want you to place your note over your heart. I'm going to actually place my key and then my note over the top of that. So I'm going to be bringing up our beautiful photography here and making that bigger. And I want you to close your eyes. We're going to be taking in a nice deep breath with the intentions that we have written down. And we're imagining this fire that we're seeing in the distance with all the stars that are out in the sky. It is the dark of the moon. This is where Hekate rules. She is also very comfortable with the energy of Scorpio. She knows no locked doors. She doesn't accept them. So I want you to inhale slowly, hold slightly at the top of the breath, and slowly release. Again, deep breath in, hold at the top of the breath, slowly release. And for our last one, deep breath in, hold, and release. And now we are walking through a meadow. And in the distance, we can see the fire burning brightly and the stars in the sky and the Milky Way like a rainbow. And we are lucky enough to even see the northern lights as they flash across the sky with all the magic of the multicolors that it can bring in. We approach the fire and greet those around us, those people that we have seen before here, and welcoming in the ones that are new. All are welcome here. We start to form our circles around this fire, knowing that during this quantum time, no matter where we are, whether this is us in this moment, in a recording, or in a live stream, or sitting on a beach, or on a hilltop, we can breathe into this moment and know we are part of the quantum field energy. We see Hekate approaching, and she circles the fire. She asks that we each put our love and our intention into the cards, into the notes, into the paper that we are holding. And we celebrate the achievement of what our desires are, the happiness that we have that this is accomplished, that we know that we are capable of having anything that we want, that we are capable of becoming anything that we want. We feel the energy of the people around us, also pouring all their love and energy from their heart chakra into their intentions. Hekate, as she walks, magically pulls those intentions forward and swirls them together and brings them to join the fire. With this, she asks that we all put our joy into each other's intentions. That because we join together, that we are creating an even stronger field. And that with that energy, we can not only accomplish our dreams, but accomplish the dreams that other people have, knowing that we are part of it just by extending our energy into it, that we will be maybe a guiding hand for someone that we don't even know, and make a difference. And as we send these intentions all forward, meeting with each other, we send them into the fire and let the fire purify and ignite and inspire things that will be happening in our future. Just around the corner. So many new things are coming in. So we watch the flames. We see the smoke rising into the sky, into the magic of the northern lights. And we know peace and happiness and the joy of being with other people, companionship. All of that is here while we are all here together. And we can take that energy with us when we leave. Now is the time to leave. We are slowly going to start moving our hands and our fingers and slowly opening our eyes and bringing ourselves back into this moment. And realizing that we are still in that energy of being with other people, that this is part of one of the tribes that helps bring us strength and understanding and camaraderie and communication. And we slowly come back into ourselves. And with that, I will remove the photo here. There we go. And return us back to the screen. And what I want to do, maybe I can change that. There we go. Magic. I love the magic. I do want to end the ceremony by closing out with some of the things that we had started. I do want to remind everyone that you can set intentions in with the water that you are drinking. You send blessings and ask for whatever the water brings you, that it can bring you what you most need within your body. There are many, many studies coming that we can actually get what we need by asking for it. So I will make sure that I do this for all of us. I do like crystals, so utilize crystals when you're out in your daily life. Protection sometimes from all of the angry energy that's out there, so that you can just draw a circle of protection with the help of Archangel Michael as you are moving through your day, and then cleanse yourself when you return home at the end of the day. And I love the idea also of the vibrational energy of sound. So sound. And with that, we will bring our fire back into being. This reminds me of like a sea rock. So we thank the archangels, we thank Hekate for being with us, we thank everyone who was here and who will be watching in the future, or actually in the all-time in the quantum field. So let me blow out the candle. And I want to thank everyone for joining us, and really appreciate that you're being here, and know that it's going to be a dark night of the soul, in the sense that we're going to be really looking at our inner selves and our inner lives for the next 30 days. And we will have a lovely time on the new moon in Sagittarius on the 19th, because it's going to be almost part of this solstice energy that's coming, and Hekate is going to be joining Venus. So it's going to be very much the energy of women, and sharing our energies, or of at least of the sacred feminine energies that are balancing out in everybody more and more and more, and allowing the power of the feminine to come forward, which I believe is happening in every aspect of life right now. So again, thank you for joining all of us. And I will say goodnight to everyone. And we will see you next Wednesday for our live. In the meantime, watch all of our videos that are coming out. There's some beautiful messages that have been happening on the channel. So we will talk to you soon. Bye.